My name is Sindel, and today we are going to talk about why I cannot stand wash and goes and twists. Neither one are protective styles. Your hair is actually never more prone to damage than when you have a wash and go or when your hair is in twists. And I'm going to break it down to you today. In the salon and in the hair industry, twists are used to mat hair. Locks are matted hair, and regardless of what anybody says and how much emotion is attached to your lovely twist, they are the fastest way to mat your hair. And there is a reason why whenever you take out those twists and whenever you're detangling, you're getting globs of hair in the brush. That's why most women who are doing twists on a regular basis always need detanglers and all of these different products. Today, I want you to pay attention to the very, very minimum amount of product that I will be using on every single client. You will never see globs and globs of product in my hand. There will never be a time where you're going to see this thick white cast for products made of products on my client's hair. It's not. But what you're seeing right now on the screen is the process of creating locks. You use twists to create locks. There is nothing stretched about your hair when it is in twists. I need you guys to understand, regardless of the emotion that you have to your twist, the definition of a protective style is something that protects the scalp and ends. Please explain to me, you guys, what about you having your hair in twists is protective? There is nothing protecting your ends, and there is nothing protecting your scalp. So by definition, it is not a protective style. It is the fastest way to lock your hair. Now, on the screen, as we're going through this video, I am going to be posting up a whole lot of comments from people who have been doing twists for years and years on end. The thing is, across social media, all of the things that you guys are doing now is just recycled information. And a lot of times, you guys think that you are learning something new, but in reality, people are just taking techniques and tactics that we use to do other things and trying to recreate them, but they're not doing it in the right way. All right, there are so many different styles that you can do, but for some reason, Black women think that the only style that they have is a wash and go, a twist out, or just wearing their hair in its natural state. And for whatever reason, if you say anything against those three, I can't even call those styles, those three ways of manipulating your hair, if you say anything else other than that, you're not proud to be a Black woman, you're against Black women, you don't like natural hair, and that's just not the case. Team Natural has baited you into believing that there are no products for Black women. You guys, look through my channel and look at the videos linked in the description box below. These products that have always been on the market, like Nexus, Paul Mitchell, and Kimra, are freaking amazing, and I can guarantee you, just try it one time and you will be blown away by how your hair really feels. The Team Natural products, they fed into you desiring and you wanting oils and butters and greases because you were under the misconceived notion that that's what your hair needs, but it really doesn't, because for centuries, for hundreds and hundreds of years, Black women and Black cosmetologists have been doing hair without heavy oils, greases, and butters, without wash and goes, without twist outs, without any of these things. And if you use these tools the right way, they do not damage hair. I need you to think about something, right? Before Team Natural or anything came along, our mothers and grandmothers were using Marcel irons, and every time they went back to the salon, their curls bounced back. Now, Marcel irons are uncontrolled heat. There's no way for you to know the temperature. The artist just has to really know what she or he is doing when using these tools. But if you're using a flat iron and you know what you're doing, I can literally control the temperature with a button. So when hair is damaged by heat, it is not damaged by the tool, but by the user. So what you're watching right now, this is how someone who really thought that their curly hair was healthy looks. And the truth of the matter is, for everybody who wants to leave a comment like, I've been doing twist outs and I haven't put heat in my hair in 10 years and my hair looks good. All of my clients used to think that, you guys. I'm not here because I'm like, me versus black women. You guys, get your panties out of a bunch. I am not here for that. Right? If you are easily offended, this is not the channel for you. I want you to see yourself, right? Because again, you can say to you blue in the face that you've been doing your twist and your hair looks amazing. All of my clients thought that until they sat in the chair, got their hair straightened, put a white shirt on or got a white towel, and you could see through to their soul. So I need you guys to understand that hair care is a holistic practice. Black women are not the only women on this earth with curly hair, but they are the only group of women held in bondage and made to feel like they don't love their self, their ethnic background, or where they come from if they add any heat or any chemicals to their hair. Okay, I need you guys to understand that it has nothing to do with that. At this point, I am getting rid of not all of the breakage, but as much as I can, making her comfortable. As you can see, there is way more damage. It's like going halfway up, not quite to the root, but almost, guys, almost. And of course, on a camera, you're only going to be able to see so much. So when I'm coming here on YouTube making videos, I can promise you, I could put it on my kids. I don't sit here, I don't look at other videos and like, I'm going to respond to that. No, if you go back on my channel for years and years and years, I have been saying the same thing over and over and over and over again. Back in the rice water days, I told y'all not to use rice water because it will result in a mass amount of black women having follicle infections and things of that nature. And what happened? Everybody has follicle infections and unknown follicle disorders that dermatologists aren't even able to identify because of all of the homegrown bacteria that you guys have been growing, right? Because of all of your do-it-yourself projects. So when you are doing different things like twist outs and wash and goes, you give your hair no memory. So many people ask, oh my God, Sid, I need a detangler. What's the best detangler? No, that's not what you need to run to. Don't run to the product first, run to the pattern, because if your hair is so tangled that you need to purchase a product just to comb through it, it is now time for you to sit down and look at your patterns and routines, because anything that you're doing to your hair that prevents you from running a comb through it is not a style that you should have. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear that. You know why? Because it changes your whole routine and it gives you all of the accountability. A lot of people aren't going to want to hear this. This is not a channel for sensitive people. Please don't get blocked. But if you are a person who thinks that your hair care should be easy or having long hair should be easy, you are wrong, my loves. Most of the women that you see with hair down their back are washing their hair and blow drying it every single day. So if your hair is 10 inches long, even if it's thick, you washing your hair and blow drying it, or washing your hair and doing a roller set, washing your hair and doing a flexi rod set, washing your hair and doing a perm rod set is not complicated. It's not. And I'm sorry, putting your hair in twist is the fastest way to get locks, and it is the fastest way to breakage. You guys think that whenever you have your twist and then you take them out, most people say, I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years and I only keep them in for a month and then I undo my twist and then I comb it out. You guys, I can guarantee you every time you comb it out, you can't comb it out without adding a bunch of products. Everybody who has twists, after you have those twists in your head for a month, after you have those twists in your head for 2 weeks, you cannot just unravel those twists and pick up a brush right away without adding a product. You can't. in your mind, because then you'll break your hair. And even when you guys are undoing those twists, you have loads and loads and loads of hair in the brush, and somebody gave you the preconceived notion that that's your shed hair. Well, it's not, you guys. And you cannot truly say that you have healthy hair if you haven't seen your hair holistically. If all you've been doing for over a year is just wearing your hair in its natural state and not straightening it to flat iron your hair to see how your ends look to actually trim it, you can't really speak on of whether or not your hair is healthy or not. And again, still, there are so many different groups of women with curly hair, but it is only black women that refuse to have their hair in multiple forms, right? When you cut hair, depending on the texture of your hair, there are rules, right? Scientifically, you never cut hair when it's swollen, because if you cut hair when it's swollen, your haircut will be uneven. So you're only supposed to cut hair when it's stretched. Well, naturally straight hair is only stretched when it is wet, and naturally straight hair is swollen when it's dry. So you never cut naturally straight hair dry unless you're trying to create choppy, like uneven layers. And it is in reverse for curly hair. Curly hair swells when it is wet, but it is only stretched to the max when it is dried and straightened. And in both instances, as long as you do it the right way, you don't have damage, you guys. And this is something that everybody needs to understand. The amount of damage that you have when you just leave your hair sitting on your head and the only maintenance you give it is putting conditioner on it or putting oil on it or putting grease on it and then putting a cap on, leaving it in an afro. I know a lot of people are not gonna like what I have to say. An afro is not a hairstyle. A blowout is not a hairstyle. Those are all preps for hairstyles. Now, if you want to wear your hair in an afro for a day or two, okay, I guess. But please don't think that that is a style that is going to have you just rolling around in healthy hair. Most women who wear their hair natural or in not natural, that's the word you guys like to use. Most women who just let their hair do whatever are the women who experience single strand knots. They're the women who always need a whole bunch of products just to comb through their hair. And at the end of the day, that is the thing that hangs everybody up, because contrary to popular opinion, there is a whole side of YouTube that doesn't talk about team natural nothing. And if you were to go online, let me know if you want me to do some reactions to these videos so you can see them. But there are women old enough to be our grandmother with like beautiful golden gray hair that blow dry and straighten their hair every week. Flat irons are not the devil. And if we really look at our track record thus far, I think not using some heat tools are more hurtful, harmful than good. And that's just the truth of the matter, because everybody is so scared of hair products. Everybody is so scared of hair tools, and it's crazy, right? Because you guys went from thinking that all hot tools were just horrible, blow dryers are bad, don't use any blow dryer, to then turning around and then getting a $600 blow dryer. You guys went and bought a $600 blow dryer, and the blow dryer that I and other cosmetologists like myself are telling you to use, you can get for like 20-30 bucks, and you can use it in a very, very simplistic manner, and your hair will be so healthy, you guys. Right here on the screen is one of my clients whose daughter had really experienced a whole lot of balding, because the mothers that are out now, I'm one of the mothers that are out now. The only thing that you see is what's on YouTube. So you think that that's how you have to do your daughter's hair, and it's not. That beauty, her mother made sure that she had the best of the best, and her daughter got on a regimen taking my Burdock blue extract, and her bald spot came right back. It filled right in. But remember, you guys, our daughters should not be having bald spots yet. It is all of the oils, the butters, the greases, all of the Mielle, all of the different products that you guys are just piling on your daughter's scalps. That is what's causing all of this inflammation, all of the balding and things of that nature. Is not normal. You're never supposed to have that much product on your hair. If I was to put any of the amounts of product that you guys put on your hair on hers, her hair would be a stringy mess. But now we have got a brand new baseline, right? She still has a little bit of breakage from up top. I can't talk. At top, she still has a little bit of breakage, but over time, it will even up. A lot of you probably noticed that even though you haven't used heat in years, at the top of your hair looks like it has heat damage. Well, you guys, heat damage is not the only type of damage you have. You have three different bonds that hold your hair together. The disulfide bond is the bond that everybody's worried about with heat damage, but you have the hydrogen bond and the salt bond. And the salt bond is the bond that you guys are breaking with all of these homemade products, with your apple cider vinegar, your not rose water, Lord, your rice water, and all of y'all homemade products. That is what's breaking down the hair shaft at the end of the day. So if we have very, very simplistic practices and we let our hair breathe and sit on its head, then everything will be okay. But we don't do that. We believe that to have healthy hair, we have to pack it full of product. We believe that to have moisturized hair, we have to add water. Hydration and water are two completely different things. When we're talking about moisturizing something, we're talking about something that is going to hold on to the hydration. You get hydration from the water that you drink and from the environment. But the moisture that you have, right? The moisturizer helps you to lock in that hydration. And when we say lock, we don't mean permanently, right? When we say lock, we don't mean to keep the cuticle closed. We mean to follow very simplistic patterns. So again, this is someone who is keeping up with their trims, right? She went a little longer than she was supposed to, because at this point I was already retired. I wasn't doing hair anymore, but we got to keep up. So you know how your stylist tells you that you should make sure you're coming in for a trim every 10 weeks. If you're here every 10 weeks, you won't even have to cut this much hair, right? This is a lot. You won't even have to cut this much hair if you're there every 10 weeks. But if you're doing your twist, and if you're doing, oh, I'm not doing that, I'm not going to the salon, you just let this split higher and higher and higher and higher up the hair shaft until before you know it, the hair is completely see-through. There's a reason why women with hair to their butts have hair to their butts. I've been working in studio salons my entire career, and I would always be one of the only black women in the entire building. And all of their clients came on a regular basis, sometimes just for a trim. Literally just for a trim. And guess what? As a black woman, you can do that too. You can really book an appointment with a hairstylist and all you want to do is get a trim. Let's say you don't want to pay for somebody to flat iron your hair. If you don't want to, you don't have to. That's fine. You can flat iron your hair yourself at home, and you can book an appointment. Hell, you can book an appointment at Supercuts and say, hey, can you trim my hair? You can go into Ulta and say, hey, I've already flat ironed my hair. Can you just trim it really quick? And call it a day. It's so simplistic. But instead of you guys having really, really short processes like wash days that could possibly only take you about 45 minutes to an hour, you're doing your hair for 6 hours thinking that you're doing something. You're not. The longer you're in your hair, the more you're damaging it. All right. This is one of the beauties from the 7-day challenge. As you can see, before she started the 7-day challenge, that was how much shedding she had. And then after she was in the 7-day challenge for a while, got a hang of things, this is her new routine and her new pattern. Look at the very small amount of shedding that she has. The amount of shedding that y'all have is not normal. The breakage that everybody has is not normal. The amount of time that you guys spend in your head is not normal. The amount of products that you guys are using on your hair, it's not normal. No, it is not. And what's crazy is whenever I make videos, right? And you see a video like this, it's like, oh, I don't want to wear my hair straight. All she cares about is straight hair. Y'all, get a grip, okay? As a black woman, you can wear your hair however you want, and you can go in between wearing your hair straight or wearing your hair curly, but you don't have to do a wash and go. The same woman that you just saw with straight hair, this is her hair in a flexi rod set. You do not have to do a wash and go. You don't have to do a braid out. You can do a regular flexi rod set where your hair is really stretched properly, well, it's shiny and bouncy, it'll last. Your scalp isn't full of products. She doesn't have a bunch of oils and grease in her hair. There's actually no grease in her hair. All she has in her hair is leave-in conditioner, the foam that her cosmetologist used to wrap her rods around, and a little bit of serum to separate the curls. That's it. That's all. It is so simplistic, but everybody makes everything so difficult. There's no war. There's no group of people that are out to be against black women. No, it's not. You guys make things so complicated for no reason, and hair in itself is so easy. All you have to do is keep your hair clean and get a simple, simplistic pattern. And I know some people aren't going to want to hear this, and this may not be the channel for you, and that's okay. But in my opinion, just getting up, putting products in your hair, just leaving your hair on your head in its natural state is not styling your hair. Can somebody in the comments please name one woman, one ethnic group that you know that just washes their hair and walks outside? Nobody. Even women of other races, even when they do scrunch their hair, scrunching their hair and doing their version of what you guys call a wash and go, they use a diffuser to dry it, and they can also pick up a comb at any time and comb through their hair. If you have a texture that when your hair is dry, you can't comb your hair without breaking it, you wearing your hair air dry should not be an option, y'all. And I know a lot of people aren't going to want to hear it, but it is what it is. I've been doing this for a very long time. This is another client, wash and goes. Listen, I've been doing this for over a decade, well over a decade. Everybody has this same cone. I have so many of these videos with this same cone breakage that most of y'all will think that these are the same videos that I'm just replaying over and over, and I'm really not. Everybody has the same cone breakage, and across YouTube, I'm willing to bet money, you guys, everybody who wants to go in my comments, I've been doing the twists for all of these years and I've been fine. Go into a hair salon or just straighten your hair yourself on as low as heat, right? Not on as low as heat. Get it pretty straight so you can see it. Make sure you use heat protectant. You're not going to damage your hair. And then make sure you can really, really see. And let's really look at what your hair looks like. Because if you haven't really seen your hair in 10 years, and all you've been doing is twist, I really don't want to hear it. I love y'all so much, but what I did for a living for well over a decade is fix how twists turn out. All of my clients were women who wore twists on a regular basis and then was like, oh, when I stretch my hair out, look how long it is. Oh, it's time for a length check in. And then when we length check, they all cried because you can see through to their soul. And it's not just me. I'm not the only one saying it. This is across the board. When you look across social media, this is what you see. And all of the women that want to argue, all of the women who make comments like, oh, I do it and it's good. Listen, babe. The only reason that you're writing that long essay in the comment, you're trying to prove it to yourself because you cannot prove it to me. I did it for so long, for so many years, like thousands and thousands of clients with this same exact line of demarcation, with this same exact form of breakage. And every last client record card, when I looked at it, all of their patterns were wash and goes, twist, and all of y'all favorite things that y'all like to do, the coconut oil, the butters, the greases, all of that. everything meets at one umbrella. And then on the flip side, when we go to the women who never have scalp inflammation down the line, who never have breakage, who have long, beautiful, thick, and healthy hair, they have practices that are on the ladder. And there are always women between their like 20s and late 30s that are like, I've been doing it for 20 years and it doesn't matter. I'm sorry, if you're under 50, I really don't care what you think about twists. I really don't care what you think about wash and goes, because my clients are in their late 50s and early 60s. They all have hair, some of them waist-length hair, but they have bald spots in the middle of their hair, and they have so many different forms of scalp inflammation, and their ends are paper thin. Their hair is weak, and it is because of the practices that you guys follow. In my 7-day challenge, as you can see on the screen, my gurus have beautiful hair, beautiful, and they're learning how to master it without damage. And no, they're not using water, they're not wet detangling, they're not doing wash and goes or anything like that. They are mastering their hair. They're curing scalp inflammation, they're growing back bald spots. My clients and my gurus within the 7-day challenge, they have had doctors tell them that their CCCA will never reverse and they're going to be bald for the rest of their life, and those spots have filled in. But as you can see here on the screen, when you are constantly doing your twists and your wash and goes, curly hair is swollen when it is wet. So if you're wearing your hair wet most of the time, or if you're letting your hair dry wet, aka letting your hair dry swollen, you do not really know how your hair looks, so you're not really at liberty to speak on these things. And again, if you are under 50, baby, everything works until it doesn't. And if you are over 50, your stuff is just moving a little slower than everybody else, and guess what? You still have time to change it. But I'm not here to argue with nobody, right? Because just like everything else that I've ever spoken on, it will come to pass, right? And within the 7-day challenge, the gurus always have everything that they need to start over. No, they're not all straightening their hair. They're learning how to wear their hair the right way without putting all of the products ever created in not just the city, but the world created on their hair. So join the challenge, join the family, shop the apothecary. Let me know what you think in the comments. Bye.